Hi, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Chat with Dandela. This is a fun, engaging speed interview where we get to bring a guest on board and they get to give us a sneak peek into their work life. So today, our guest is Ire. Ire is the co-founder and COO at Buycoins. Ire, welcome to this episode, and I hope you're actually ready for us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I think I'm ready, but we'll see.
Fantastic. Let's do this. First question for you, Ire. What do you do at Buycoins?
Okay, so I mainly do front-end development. So I lead like the front-end development team. For a while, I was the only front-end developer, but now luckily we have some great people. But I guess my official title is COO. And so I essentially just try and make sure the company stays running and we don't like do something that completely runs the company into the ground, things kind of like that. So it's just kind of maintaining the operations of the company.
And what would you say are the, non-obvious things that a co-founder or a COO at Buycoins does?
Well, for a co-founder, you kind of just have to do everything. And especially in the early stages of the company that we kind of still are at, there's kind of nothing that we can say, oh, that's not my job. Like you kind of just have to be in everything. So that's one thing that being like co-founder of a company, it's not really that obvious. You might think that, okay, just because I am COO, that means I don't have any involvement in like deciding how like the product works or anything like that. I think when you're a co-founder, you're essentially signing up to be responsible for absolutely everything.
Interesting. So I know in your career you have been employed. You are currently a Google developer expert, and right now the co-founder COO at Buycoins. So the question is, what's the one thing that you know now that you wish you had known when starting out?
I kind of wish I had known all the, I guess, bureaucracy that comes with starting a company. You might just think, oh, just register a company and like you're good to go. But no, you kind of have to maintain it. And that's kind of what's through the role of being like CEO, I've kind of had to learn and understand that, oh, okay, companies have to do this every month or do this every year, and just all the, like I said, bureaucracy that comes with it. So I would say I wish I was a bit more aware of all those things, because particularly in the early stages, it just kind of felt like it was, oh, one thing after the other that you're finding out for the first time. But I'll just say before getting into starting a company, do a bit more research as to what that actually entails.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And, it sounds like you're having a blast at Buycoins. Is there one thing that you look forward to at work?
I really enjoy working with the team that we have, like our employees. I don't know how we got so lucky to have such like amazing people that work for us. And not only are they incredibly smart and really good at their jobs, but they're actually just fun people to hang around. So it's really nice to be able to work with people that you respect and just generally like being around.
Oh, amazing. That's interesting to know. So let me take you back a bit. What was the first ever paid position that you held in your career?
It was a development position, I think just maybe a year or so after I got out of university. I mean, before that, I did some freelance, but I don't know if that really counts, because I think in my entire time doing freelance for about a year, maybe I had like 3 clients. So it wasn't really like I was rolling in the
Yeah.
clients or anything like that. So my first job was, I did maybe about 3 months working at this tech startup, and it was sort of like a temporary position to some extent, but it was like it was the first time I ever worked with somebody else doing development.
Interesting. And I see that you're actually working from home. What's that one distraction that is always on your way when working from home?
I mean, my phone is definitely the biggest distraction. Just like seeing notifications from like Instagram or WhatsApp, all those things. But I've recently started learning the use of do not disturb. So I kind of put that on and like try and not touch my phone and not be getting so many notifications to distract me.
Interesting. All right. So, Ire, tell us who's the person currently that you usually approach to bounce off ideas with?
Yeah, I would say my co-founders fulfill that role for me. They're people obviously in the same industry, and we're all quite like-minded. So it's always nice to, if I have a new idea for something, talk to them about it. And even about things that are not necessarily Bitcoins related, just like, oh, I'm trying to do this. What do you think? So I think I would say those.
Fantastic. And then earlier on, you mentioned you actually do look forward to working with, meeting your team. It's your highlight for the day. My question now is, when was the last time you actually celebrated someone who kicked it at work?
Interesting. Well, I mean, we do, birthday celebrations. I don't know if that really counts, but we do generally try to do maybe every 6 months. I mean, we're so early, so it's hard to say every 6 months for something that's been like maybe a year. But we try and do team gatherings. So like, I think the last time we went and played paintball together or something, just to kind of like celebrate that, oh, we pushed out this really new feature, or we actually accomplished something and it was nice. And I think my team won, so that was great.
And quite a good way of maintaining that team cohesion, within Bitcoin. Okay, so Ire, tell us, how did you feel? Like, what was the feeling when you found out that you've gotten into YC?
Yeah, so that was like probably one of the biggest moments in like the history of like the company, because it just kind of made everything feel a lot more real. And because before that it was just me and Timmy working on it as like a side project, just like out of our houses. It wasn't really something we're taking all that seriously, but that was like the first date that was like, wow, we actually built a company. Like we actually really, it's a real company. It's not just like a side project anymore. So it was crazy. Like we were screaming and running up and down the streets. So that was fun. But that was a great day.
Okay, interesting. And like, well done. I think that was a really huge milestone in your journey. Congratulations for that to both of you. So 2 final questions as we wind up this segment. First, I want to ask you, like, for someone who's listening in and they're like, I love, Ire's career path. What is your advice to them? Like, how would you suggest they go about it?
Yes. I would say, first of all, just try and work on something that you're really passionate about. And even when people ask me, oh, how do you start coding? I just try to reframe it as like, oh, well, what do you want to build? Yes. Like, is it that you want to make an app that will help you do X or Y? And if you kind of start from there, then it becomes a lot easier, because like nobody learns how to code just so that they know how to code. They learn how to code because they're trying to do something. So if you have an idea for like the equivalent of Bitcoins or like some product that you want to see exist, then you're just going to find the tools you need to do that. And maybe you have to learn how to code, or maybe you just have to partner with someone. But just making sure you're framing it around, oh, I want to solve this problem, rather than I just want to be like a CEO, or I just want to found a company. Like you have to think about what company first.
Yeah. That's really insightful. And then finally, as we wind up, probably on the same breath, why Bitcoins? Why did you choose Bitcoins, and like, what's the vision for that?
This one, I feel like I mentioned before, it was something that we kind of started as a side project. And even me, maybe Timmy was thinking about it differently, but for me, I was just like, this is a really fun thing to work on. I've not done anything in like the crypto space before, and I was still also just understanding what it really was. So at first it just started as like an interesting project, but the more serious it became, the more I was like, oh, this is actually something that's going to be very useful. And to answer the question, like why crypto, why Bitcoins, is because I generally believe that it has the potential to change a lot of how we like live our lives, and particularly in Nigeria and the rest of Africa. Like even when we were speaking to investors and things, we always lead with the fact that crypto is bigger in the US or Europe right now, but the people that actually need it is us, the ones like in Nigeria, because we're the ones that have issues with our currency, right? And cryptocurrency can actually really solve a lot of those issues. So yeah, there's just a lot of potential for it. And we're hoping to kind of bring that out through Bitcoins.
Fantastic. Thank you, Ire. I think very insightful. We have gotten a sneak peek into your career, which is amazing, and we appreciate you for that. So now let's get a bit personal. Just 3 questions here. Number 1, how do you relax? You clearly do a lot in your daytime job at Bitcoins, but how do you relax?
Well, the thing is, coding is also my hobby. So sometimes I relax by coding and doing other like side projects, or like right now I'm trying to build some game and it's just like another coding related thing. But if I don't feel like looking at my computer screen or whatever, funnily enough, I was gonna say, oh, I actually just like watch something, which is also looking at a computer screen, but slightly different.
Yeah. We
But
can say
I'm
some
really
form of relaxation for sure. Yeah.
but I'm really into a lot of different TV shows. I watch a lot of shows. I watch a lot of YouTube. I watch a lot of like TikTok. Just everything basically. I just consume all the content possible.
What are you watching right now in terms of TV shows?
I just finished the season of American Horror Story actually. And I'm looking for what my next thing to watch is going to be. So I haven't quite decided on that yet.
All right, cool. Hopefully the listener will drop in the comments and just give you some, tidbits on that. Second, what's that one life skill that your job or your career has taught you?
I think more how to work with people, and because I'm very much of an introvert and I generally like working from home and stuff. But I think working in Bitcoins in particular, where I am more forced to, especially like manage people as well, I think it's taught me a lot how to deal with people in a way that if I was still working at a previous company where I was just an employee, not necessarily having to actively participate so much, I might not have learned all of this stuff.
Fantastic. Then finally, tell us today, how did you spend the first 30 minutes of your day?
Okay. When I first wake up, I try to meditate for like 10 to 20 minutes. I think I did maybe like 15 minutes or something today. And then after that, I'm allowed to like just go on Instagram and Twitter and all of that stuff. So I try and have some kind of delay before that, because obviously Instagram and stuff is amazing, but at the same time, if it's always the first thing that I'm looking at in the morning, it can kind of just like affect my mood. And then I don't know, brush my teeth, drink some water, make some tea, and then just kind of sit down and be on my laptop for a bit, like go through emails and things like that.
Okay, fantastic. That has been Ire. She's the COO, co-founder of Bitcoins as well. And she has given us a sneak peek into her career life and personal life. Thank you so much, Ire, for that segment, for sure.
Thank you.
Finally, we have a section we call Hit or Miss. This is where our guest, Ire, will get to tell us in one word how she feels about some common industry concepts. Ire, are you ready for this?
I think so. Okay, right. No, I'm ready.
Fantastic. So let's do this. So you just tell me hit or miss depending on your opinion on what I mentioned. So let's kick off. Tech events and conferences.
Hit.
Side gigs.
Hit.
Stock options in a company.
Hit.
Swag, something we all get.
Miss.
End of year bonuses.
Hit. Yeah.
What about performance review cycles?
Hit.
Team offsites?
Hit, yeah.
Secret Santa in the office?
I haven't thought about that one before. Hit, I guess, yeah.
Okay. What about work friendships?
Oh, hit, yeah.
Dating a colleague.
um, hit, miss? Can I say both?
Okay, you're actually allowed to say both. That's fair. That's fair.
Okay, cool.
What about town hall meetings?
Hit, yeah.
Okay, traveling for work.
Hit.
What about finally company provided feeding?
Hit.
Oh, interesting.
Okay.
That's
I
that's
feel
a
like I
good
can't
balance.
expand on any of them. I just had to say hit on it. I'm just like,
That's why we put you on the spot. We want to know what are you strong for and what are you strongly against. But I think,
yeah.
you know what, personal opinion. It's been great, Ire, having you here on this episode of Chats with Andela. I hope you've had fun.
Yeah, I have. Thank you for having me.
Fantastic. And for anyone who's listening and you'd like to see your favorite techie joiners, just drop your suggestions on the comment section below, and don't forget to engage with us online using the hashtag Chats with Andela. Thank you, and see you next time.